Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Darren. So we are playing more Final Fantasy XIV. Last episode we put an end to Asahi technically indirectly put an end to Yotsuyu by turning her into a freaking primal, which we then killed, and then he actually, well, we defeated the primal and then he just finished her off because he's an asshole. But then he died in return, which is very good. Anyway, I also changed my red mage glamour at some point because I felt like it didn't really fit. And this one works much better in my humble opinion. Let us continue. I think it's time we're going, don't you? We've done all we can here and we have a lot to report. Before we head back to the Rising Stones, let's call in at Rogger's Reach. We should be the ones to tell Lisa about Xenos. After everything we went through together, we owe her that. Back to Rogger's Reach. Reach out your hand and touch Rolga's big fist. There we go. What is this? What is this? What do you mean? What do you mean there's another fucking side quest? Alright, I'll try and finish off this patch. If I know when it's gonna be finished off, I probably will. And then we'll go and do that side quest. Me thinking that there wouldn't be any more optional content appearing during the patches, you fool. Lynn, Alize, you're back. No Alfina? It's good to see you, Lise. As for my headstrong brother, he's off on what will almost certainly turn out to be a once-in-a-lifetime trip to Garlemald. It's a long story, but we have evidence that Xenos might still be alive. What? But that's... If this is a joke... Oh, God, this had better be a joke. Look, I know what I saw, alright? We all saw it, and you are saying he's alive and well and living the high life back in Garlemald? I know how ludicrous this sounds, I'm still having difficulties believing it myself, but while I might doubt the word of an Imperial Viceroy, I'm inclined to trust Lynn's. She saw the Crown Prince through the Echo, in a meeting that could only have taken place in recent past. It was him. No, it must have been, I don't know, some kind of really convincing imposter. Xenos is dead. He had a great big hole in his neck. We buried him. Aye, and someone went to the trouble of desecrating the bastard's grave, remember? Thal's Gilded Halls, whatever are you talking about? Who the hell is speaking? Oh, him. Sankard, what brings you to the Reach? Often had me lending a hand at the saltery, keeping an eye on the rebuilding work and so on. Just until operations were up and running, and now that they are, I thought I might look in on on you before wending my weary way back to the headquarters. Forgive me if I misheard, but is there some suggestion the late Crown Prince could have gotten better? If so, might I suggest a quick look inside his coffin as our first order of business? As much as I hated the man, it doesn't feel right defiling his grave, but if we'll put this rumor to rest, I suppose we have to. And when there are no curious eyes about, if we can manage it. Since he's buried up at Bloodhow in the locks, his grave was set apart from the others and left unmarked so as to not upset the locals. Then it shouldn't be too hard to find. Nago, you're in charge until I get back. Right. That is an annoying area to get to. Right. Fly, my Gubu friend. Fly like the good boy you are. This is so interesting, like, re-experiencing a part of the MSQ now with, like, outdated graphics. Everything looks intriguing. To say the least. Something tells me that, like, one quest is gonna lead to a large-ass fucking side quest. Which is still very intriguing that it's there now. It wasn't there when I last was in the Reach. Which wasn't too long ago, so it must have been locked in this patch. This is it. God, it better be in there. Someone crawled all over the stone a while ago, but I had it scrubbed off. I thought no more about it. So, no one thought to check if the coffin was still occupied? Well then, we are presented with one course of action. And we had best be sure we are not observed in the doing of it. Shall we begin?
Oh dear. We seem to be missing a corpse.
Well, it must be somewhere. I only hope it isn't walking around.
So about that not being seen. Mission failed successfully. If there's no corpse, then are we to conclude the rumors are true? Not necessarily. We might still be dealing with a doppelganger of some kind. An agent could have been sent to dispose of the body in a bid to lend credence to the tale of Xenos' resurrection. More and more, however, I find myself siding with Alfino's theory of ashen possession. Speaking from experience, I can tell they have no qualms about taking a living host, let alone a dead one. You're saying an Astion is walking around in Xenos' body? Seems a distinct possibility. Once I've put this grave back the way we found it, I shall pay a visit to the people responsible for interring the Crown Prince. Before leaping to any conclusions, I want to know for sure if her body was ever buried here, and how certain we are that Xenos is properly dead. If he wasn't, that was some trick. He as good as cut his own head off. Anyway, Raban needs to hear about this. If you find anything out, send word to me at Rogger's Reach. I don't know why I'm surprised. With matters settling down in Doma, we were due another crisis. Shall we make for the Rising Stones then? It's past time we shared these developments with the others. While I was waiting for you to arrive, I spoke with Oriandre over Link Pearl and gave him a full report. Your stall is on her way and should be here any... Ah. Alize, Lynn, it is good to see you safe and well. What news have you from the east? Disturbing developments indeed. Given all that we know, I too would conclude that an Ascian now inhabits Xeno's body. A doppelganger might fool the Crown Prince's subordinates, but Lynn? Nay, Alfino had the right of it. Whether this wisdom extended to the question of his own safety, capable though he has become, he ventures alone into the enemy's stronghold, and the shadowy web of the Paragons like as not. When it comes to making rash decisions, I'm hardly in a position to criticize, but I'm worried. I just wish there was something I could do for him besides pray. Meanwhile, in the evil lair. Cannot suffer icons to exist. Was I not clear on this point? More than clear. The icon in question was summarily dispatched by the Warrior of Light. The summoner is dead, and the rite beyond repeating. Everything proceeding according to plan. Every party behaving exactly as required. My methods may seem extreme, but there is no cause for concern. I work only to ensure the salvation of this star. Is there more? Yes. What are you doing fiddling with that thing? Ask you a question, soldier. What are you... Have you lost your mind? Man, that blade looks nice. I like the look of that blade. Anyway. I have lost many things, but my mind is yet my own. There upon the stage I stood, prepared to take my final bow, only to find that the finale was but an intermission. Shall I use this chance to repent for my sins, embrace the goodness and mediocrity? Mediocrity? Yes. Nay, I think not. While the one I yearn to face yet lives, the hunt must go on. And that was actually the end of the patch, it would seem. Yeah, now we get Under the Moonlight. Okay, we will return to the MSQ after I am done doing however long that one quest takes. Sure hope it's not too long. Otherwise, I'm blueballing people again. I mean, I guess it's a blue ball for people who've never seen the story of this game. But anybody else knows what's going to happen, so... So I think this would be more interesting, actually, because I don't think everybody reads this stuff. Salt! Get your salt! Gourmet quality, fresh from the saltery. There now, aren't you Linda there, the year of the revolution? They say you played a big part in reviving the saltery's operations. It's an honor, miss, a true honor, and good timing too. I'm soon to head back across the border, and do my part in reminding Eorzea's markets what proper salt tastes like. I was living in Ul'dah before, you see. In one of those refugee tent camps. Never thought I'd set foot in Alamago again. Let alone be handed a job when I got here. It's all thanks to you. Come to think of it, Whisker was wondering if I'd spot you here in Rogger's Reach. If I saw you, he said I was to ask you to visit the Saltery whenever you have the time. I'm sure he's eager to share how far they've come with the rebuilding. To the Saltery. Time to go to my home. The place where I was born. And molded in the sweet succulent salt, as is my fate, or as was my fate, to be more precise. Incoming. I might need to move those cranes a bit to the... Oh, Lynn, you came. Our trader spied you in Rogger's Reach, did he? As you can see, the Saltery's restoration is coming along nicely. Care to have a closer look at what we've accomplished so far? You should witness the success you've helped achieve, and I promise I won't take too much of your time. Can you believe it? Our partners in the East Aldenar Trading Company have been busy promoting our produce, and it's about all these merchants and chefs with coin to spend. It was one Makoto last, culinarian from Limsa. She said she was... Who ordered a whole wagon... She said she was... What? Who ordered a whole wagon full of salt to be shipped back across the sea. Thanks a lot, Lolorito's connections. We have the folk in place to transport huge orders damn near anywhere. And our profits have been soaring. Right, let's head over to the heart of the operation, shall we? I guess this is just a little epilogue to this stuff. As I understand it, masses of salt crystals build up in the shadows of the locks. We rake it all together into those little hills you see here, and let it bake in the sun for a few days. Once it's good and dried out, off to the factory it goes. That's where any unwanted rubbish is sieved out, and we end up with pure saltery salt. The brothers and sisters who've returned to us have taken to the work with a passion. I thought they fled into Thailand so long ago, and the love for their homeland still burns bright. Or do they, whatever. And my job is to make certain no lock-dwelling beast ruins what we've reclaimed together. I patrol the shores every day, and put the advice you gave me to good use. In fact, I could use more monster slaying wisdom if you've any to share. It's the bloody Sovereigns, you see. Their numbers have been on the rise of late, and getting a blade through their ore-bound hides is a chore to say the least. Any pointers on how to deal with them? Go for the eyes. The eyes is, seems a bit tricky, but they certainly are exposed compared to the rest of it. I'll give it a shot. Well, I think you've seen all the changes around here. It's time we went to speak with Grandad. I'll be with you in a moment, young'uns. Let me finish up here. Welcome, welcome. As you can see, the saltery is back in business. We've got the daughter of an old Dan merchant house come to inspect our operations. Speaking of the lass. Ha! We've observed the method of your salt production, Master Watt, and I must say the process is quite fascinating. Lady Lilira! Yes, 'tis I, Lilira. What strange coincidence that our paths should cross in this unlikely place. Oh, you know each other then. Suppose an adventure meets all sort of folk, trudging from one end of the realm to the other. Yes, well, Master Watt, I must compliment you on your salted fish. The dish we sampled was exquisite. Thank you, miss. The saltery was once famous for not only its salt, but also the goods we seasoned with its produce. We hoped you might take a reminder of that taste back to the people of Ul'dah. Yes, I will certainly discuss the potential for bringing such wares to the market with our partners. And whilst we are on the subject of partners, Master Watt, I understand you run a saltery with the assistance of the East Aldenar Trading Company. Are the profits of your joint venture being properly apportioned? I'm not sure I follow, miss. I believe Mrs. Lilira wishes to know whether or not the East Aldenar Trading Company is claiming an unfair share of coin. Well, we had a bright young man by the name of Alfino draft us a watertight contract to avoid that sort of problem. Do you know of any reason we should worry? Nay, my good man, no reason. Carry on as you were. Pray continue these fine efforts to support your countrymen's return and restore the glory of Alamiga. Yes, miss, I will. She's a bit of full of herself, wasn't she? The way she spoke, you'd think she was bloody royalty or something. If only you knew, buddy. Seeing as our young heroes come to visit, what say we gather everyone to mark the occasion? Oh, hi, Mark. Wait, there's gonna be more, yeah. Look at these dudes. The battle with the Empire took its toll and left our saltery in ruins. We were left to squat in the rubble of our livelihood. But look now, our kin returned to us from Ul'dah, and our village is alive again with peddlers and traders. We had neither the coin nor the might to remake our home until you and the Sultana took our cause as your own. For that we are truly thankful. We've rebuilt what was needed to get things running, aye, but war's talons gouge deep. Many buildings still lie broken, and it'll take time to put it all back to the way it was. But we won't let your boon go to waste. Day by day, we'll keep adding to this foundation you've laid and bring lasting prosperity for all of Alamiga. A fortune in salt, as I get some Alamigan salt crystals. Here, a reward. Right. And, yeah, I haven't seen anything else, so I'm just gonna assume that there is nothing else. Smiley face. Actually, no, I will, after I'm done with the patch content, before we go and finish everything up, I am going to go and take a look around, basically all the Stormblood areas to see if there's a quest that has appeared that I may have missed. But for now, it's been an eventful few days, hasn't it? But I suppose all we can do is wait for word from Alfino. I recall the last time I had nothing pressing to be getting on with. We should probably make the most of it. Shall I put on some tea? Tea would be lovely. You may regale me with the tale of your adventures in the Far East, and of your encounter with this new primal especially. I'll put the kettle on then. The table looks free if you'd like to take a seat. Upon sitting at a table, several cuts to play in sequence. Yes. Boop. Interesting. So this Tsukiyomi was summoned in much the same manner as Susanoo via the medium of a sacred relic. That's right, I believe their gods, or kami, reside in physical objects. Given the danger they represent, it may behoove us to begin a catalogue of such relics, but if we are to contain a threat, we will require a better understanding of the summoning method itself. I believe I shall pay a visit to Doma and learn what I can of the subject. A fine idea, and I know for a fact that our friends in Doma would be grateful for any information which could help to prevent further summoning in the region. I will pen you a letter of introduction. Lord Hien will wish to welcome our resident expert on aetherology. Greetings. Could it be that I'm in time for tea? Certainly looks that way. Come, sit down and tell us how your investigations went. After you left, I went about questioning Bloodhour's gravekeepers. They all told much the same story. Once Lys and her officers had confirmed Zeno's death, his corpse was interred under strict supervision. There seems little reason to doubt their testimony on that point, but when I mentioned the defacement of Zenos' grave, accounts grew rather more vague. None reported having seen any suspicious persons in the vicinity, and all assumed the act to have been perpetrated by a vengeful Alamigan. Crucially, however, I was able to confirm that when the offending scroll was removed, as per Lys's instruction, no one involved thought to check the contents of the coffin. By that stage, 'tis like the corpse was already missing. Assuming Zenos has not in fact risen from the dead, we are left with two possibilities. Either the body was disposed of to lend credence to the claims of an extremely committed impostor, or an Ascian has taken up residence within. If Asahi was as fervent a devotee as you believe, he would not have been fooled by an impersonation, however committed. We must assume that we are dealing with an Ascian, and proceed accordingly. Agreed. Question is, how many more such monsters are waiting for Elfino and Garlemald? Their presence was his chief concern for going. He understood the risks. I only hope he did not underestimate the extent of the infestation. Meanwhile, on the Imperial Hypersonic Assault Craft, ffXIV, which is the Roman numeral for a certain number that I do not know because I don't know the numbers that high. Master Elfino, we are making good speed towards our destination. Is Artemis? Nay, 'tis just... I can see Nod from my cabin, who is curious to know the land over which we flew. Ah, I'm afraid our military crafts are built with little thought for such niceties. I'm happy to indulge your curiosity, however. We are presently passing over the burn on the western edge of Othard. Even with the benefit of a porthole, your gaze would have been greeted with naught but moms upon moms of lifeless earth. I've read something of the burn. It was described as a desolate wasteland, but dry of every last drop of ether. Aye, 'tis a belief that a succession of icon summonings was responsible. When Emperor Solus first came to Othard and beheld this blight, he is said to have reeled at the scale of the devastation. He declared icons a threat to our very star's existence, and issued an empire-wide decree ordering the eradication of all such entities. A report. We're under attack, sir. Magitech armor. No visible designation. Magitech, but who? Ah. All cannons return fire. Damage report. The main reactor's been hit. Helm unresponsive. We're going down, sir. Damn it. I knew exactly where to hit us. All hands, brace for impact. Glad to have you back, Master Elfina. We've landed in one piece, more or less. But the air filtration system is damaged, and the ship is filling with smoke. We must gather the survivors and get out while we still can. Aye. Time for a duty, my friends. A very cleverly hidden duty where you get to play as the character. In this case, Elfino. Ugh. Keep as still as you can. Master Elfino, might I ask you to search for survivors? I will see to our injured helmsman. No. Destroy the airship wreckage. My god, that's a slow casting rune, buddy. I mean, it may still be based off of, like, Old Summoner or Old Arcanist. Right. My thanks. I don't think I would have made it. Yes, you very likely saved his life. The question of who would try to take it remains, however. Puts us out of misery. Prince wishes none left alive. The prince? If not come to parley, I fear. Ready your weapons. Let me go and just do this. And we can do try shackle. And bind the bitches as I do 30 damage. Shining Moonstone. Doing single target seems to be a better idea, because the AoE does no fucking damage. Wait, this... Okay, I just get the constant buff over here. Confound it. Not here. Not like this. Who in the Emperor's name? Enemies of our enemies. Introductions can wait. You're calm in a crisis, Master Alfina. Let us finish this then. What a fucking entrance, man. Oh, that's good. Good shit. Defeat the enemy. Down with you. I think if I bind them, it doesn't really matter too much, right? Immediately goes away if you get hit, yeah. Oh, the Emperor, that man's a fiend! Cross formations, deploy restraints! Bah, child's trick. Oh, I can use this now. I've got an LB, I can use Starstorm. My thanks, boy. Duty completo. I see. I really wish you could like have more colors of carbuncles, except for the original 3 when playing a 7er. There's a lot of cool colors you can do with it. My thanks. Your intervention proved most timely. Well, well, I did not think to meet an Eorzean in this place, let alone Sion. You know of me, sir? I have some small history with your order. But I would speak of the present. Know you your assailants, and the severity of your predicament. The soldiers bore the insignia of the Emperor's personal guard, and I could venture a guess as to their motive. But you yet have us at a disadvantage, sir. Will you not tell us who you are? Our names are not yours for the asking, and as for our purpose, let this be your answer. An Hassian mask. The face of our prey. You must away before more arrive. Come with us or stay, but make your choice now. Even should he manage the long trek out of the burn and secure passage to the capital, he would no doubt be greeted by the Emperor's guard. Indeed, we accept your gracious offer. Shadow Hunter will suffice for the present. Come. This is intolerable. As much as I wish it were otherwise, there is nothing we can do for Alfino but pray for his success. Well, that is not entirely true. While your brother journeys to Garlemald from the east, I could make my way there from Alamigo and find out what there is to be learned in the Empire's western provinces. Then I'm coming with you. I can't very well sit here, sipping tea if there's action to be taken. Forgive me, Alice, but the provinces are hostile territories, and stealth is all important. It is safer that I go alone. I can sneak well enough when the situation demands it. Don't patronize me. Just leave it to Thancred, Joe. Not you too. I understand your frustration, Alice, but Lynn has the right of it. We must defer to Thancred's expertise in this matter. Fine. Just promise you'll be careful. Seems that praying is to be the extent of my contribution after all, but I will stay behind, as I've been told, as I've been bid. We all have our talents. Mine just happens to involve a silver tongue and soft souls. I promise to send word the moment I learn aught of consequence. See that you notify me too. I mean to depart for Doma as soon as I find a suitable East Aldernaut vessel to bear me thither, but I shall return if I am needed. Be sure to drop in whenever you're next in the area, Lynn. With any luck, I'll have a painfully detailed report from Alfino to share. So we get to ponder. You learn to emote ponder. Slash ponder. Wait, let me go and just let me go and see that in detail. I like ponder. Ponder is fun. That's a fun one. Good for making plates. Oh, Lynn, if you've come here hoping for news, I'm afraid there isn't any. Everything is exactly as it was. Y'shtola is still investigating primals in the Far East, Thancred is still gathering intelligence in the Imperial provinces, and Alfino is still out there somewhere. There's been no word since he first scheduled report. Nor does he respond to calls, and all the while I'm just meant to sit around here waiting. It's driving me mad. Begging your pardon, I bear a message from the Yorzen Alliance. Thank the gods for that, we have a visitor. Welcome to the Rising Stones. If you have a message, I should be most eager to hear it. My lady, the Alliance leadership will soon convene to discuss the matter of Ascian interference, and they humbly request the presence of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. Having assessed intelligence provided by the Alamigan Resistance concerning the whereabouts of Xenos' remains, they too suspect Ascian involvement, and wish to deliberate a suitable course of action. As the foremost authorities on our foe, your Order's Council would be most welcome. Of course, we should be glad to assist in whatever way we can. With almost everyone else afield, I'd say this one falls to us. By which I mean, I'm not going on my own. You'll come with me, I trust. Sure. There you have it. We accept the invitation. Thank you. The time and date of the meeting will be shared in due course, but I can confirm that the council will take place in Alamigo. By your leave. I somehow doubt we'll have anything useful to offer, but standing mutely at a meeting would still be better than the nothing I've been doing of late. Let's make ready to depart, shall we? Thancred, what's going on, man? Alright, just be careful on the road back here. Did I hear right, Riel? Is Thancred coming back? No, there he is. Says he's acquired some important intelligence. Being in Guardian territory, though, he couldn't risk sharing the particulars in case the Imperials were listening in. So he said he'd be back as quick as he could. And to make sure someone was waiting for him in the Alamigan Quarter. Understood. Lynn and I will go. We're bound for Alamigo anyway, and there's sure to be time before the council begins. Come on, let's be off. You know what? This is totally unrelated to anything in this. I just remembered who Isildur is. From like, where did I even need to know that knowledge? Oh right, when Doman Restoration stuff started, they were like, "Oh, we're talking about Isildur," and it's like, Isildur? Yes, he's the fucking old man in this cemetery, I think. Anyway, you're to a sight for sore eyes. All I need is water for my parched throat. Fetch me a cup, will you? Traipsing through Imperial territory is thirsty work.
God, I needed that.
I won't bother telling you to catch your breath. Whatever brought you galloping back to us, I assume it's urgent.
Quite. Without further ado, then. After the successful uprisings in Doma and Alamigo, rebels in several other provinces were inspired to follow suit. Unfortunately, they did not fare quite so well. The Dalmascans paid the heaviest price. For their defiance, the Emperor made a show of razing their capital to the ground, prompting many of their neighbors to abandon thoughts of resistance. But not all have given up on liberty. Heartened by the news of Doma's prisoner exchange, some still believe that the Empire may one day be amenable to negotiation. We have the shinobi to thank for spreading the good word. They have worked tirelessly to keep the subjugated informed, and a little knowledge can go a long way.
There is at least a spark of hope, then.
A spark in want of kindling, yes. The Alliance has already begun supplying materiel to resistance movements abroad, many of whom would otherwise struggle to continue the fight. The support effort has been led by the Sultana and the Elder Seedseer, who have both seen enough Alamegan refugees to know the consequences of oppression. And for their troubles, they have quickly earned a reputation as folk heroes in certain corners of the Empire. That is all for the provinces. As for the Garlean motherland itself, our friends the Populares have suffered something of a setback, I regret to say. Talk is rife that Doma has summoned a primal, and the Empire's more liberal voices are being drowned out in the fearful clamor for retribution.
And who did they think orchestrated this summoning?
Oh, any but those truly responsible. Xenos has seen to that. Speaking of whom, the Crown Prince is recovering remarkably well. Well enough, in fact, to enable him to personally tour the provinces, putting the fear of the Emperor into the hearts of any would-be dissidents.
He walks in plain sight, and none suspect him. Then it's as we feared.
Yes. An Ascian wears his skin. But it was not that which brought me here in such haste. During my time in the provinces, I learned many things. Yet at no point did I hear any report of a Doman emissary in the capital.
But Alphonse should have arrived by now. Could they be holding him there in secret?
The possibility did cross my mind, but I have reason to believe he never reached his destination. As you know, Scions assigned to covert operations, such as Riol and myself, are issued special link pearls for communication in the event of an emergency. I mention this because it was originally Alphino's task to coordinate the response at headquarters, meaning he has one. And whose voice should I hear when mine recently crackled to life?
You spoke with Alphino?
Spoke with? No. I but heard his voice, and none too clearly at that. 2 words were all I could make out. The burn.
The wasteland on the edge of Otherd. Something must have happened to them there. There's no time to waste. We must make for the burn at once.
I had a feeling you might say that.
And? I can't very well sit around here drinking tea if Alphinaud's in trouble. You said yourself that this link pill was only to be used in emergencies. So I'm going, and that's the end of it.
Oh, far be it from me to change your minds.
Loath I am to neglect making preparations for the council, we must act swiftly before Alphinaud's trail goes cold. I propose we first pay Hien a visit. He's sure to want to hear about these developments, and he may well be able to advise us on how best to reach the burn. A sound plan, and you still in Doma, is she not? I dare say she'd join you in the search if you asked her nicely. While you all see to that, I shall go and report my findings to the Alliance. You may leave any preparations for the council to me. Thank you, Thancred. Right, to Doma then. We have much and more to share with you, Stola. To the Doma Enclave. That is curious indeed. What other matters demand my attention at present? I shall bear what you have told me in mind. Should you notice any changes, do not hesitate to seek me out. Thank you, my lady. You're most kind. Well, well. 2 faces from the dim and distant past. Come now, it hasn't been that long. Who was that you were speaking with? A local miner who supplied crystals for the rebuilding effort. Of late he claims to have struggled to find a crystal with so much as a trace of elemental energy. Upon learning that I had some knowledge of ether, he came seeking my counsel. Just now he brought me one of his recent finds. It was precisely as he described, devoid of elemental energy and eerily reminiscent of the de-aspected crystals that manifested in Eorzea in the days prior to the calamity. It would be wise to investigate this phenomenon more closely. Indeed, but on a more positive note, the locals seem to have taken a liking to you. More an interest in than a liking to, I think. On the side of a Mikote with a peculiar contraption upon her head has a certain novelty value in these parts. Any actual regard they may have for me, I owe wholly to you and the others who came before. Everyone here has been exceedingly cooperative, and I am pleased to report that I have all but concluded my investigations. Simply put, by focusing one's will upon an ether-infused object of worship, it is possible to conduct a summoning. So the fact that they are objects of worship is the key? They are themselves infused with the requisite belief? Correct. Such sacred relics as the Kojin collect obviate the need for religious fervor in a summoner. Yotsuyu being the most obvious example. She had but to associate the artifact given to her by Asahi with the divine, and it served to amplify her desires and give them form. A form nourished through the power of crystals, also provided by her brother, and thus was Tsukiyomi brought into being. Which brings me to the question of preventative measures, to which I have yet to find a satisfactory answer. At present I know of naught that will avail us, save to keep watch over the movements of relics and crystals, as if we did not have enough time to keep watch over already. Can't read. But I doubt you came all this way to hear that which may be perused in the reports. Has something happened to Alphinaud? I shall join you in the search, of course. Thank you, Y'shtola. I shall be glad for your help, truly. Now, if there's nothing else, I shall go on ahead and request an audience with Lord Hien. Adesei puts on a brave face, but she has little talent for concealment. We should join her at the Kiankan. Or Kiankan, whatever. It's the same. It's the same picture. Alright, now before we go and talk to Hien, this is where I'm gonna leave it off. I hope you enjoyed this episode. After the dance, we were playing more Final Fantasy XIV. And the next episode, we're gonna go and see where the story takes us next. Goodbye.